Good evening, everyone. This is Belinda with NC Notary Services with North Carolina news you can use. I wanted to go over the EVN, which was the emergency video notarization. It actually ended this morning at 12:01 a.m. Although they are working toward getting this moving forward, it just have not been approved yet. So we cannot do any emergency video notarization until the Secretary of State tells us that we can move forward. So right now, again, that's on pause. We can still continue to go and perform notarizations in person, but again, you do want to make sure you're well you're well protected with your PPE. Make sure you have your checklist of everything that you must have before you meet with a client. Also, if you are looking to get recommissioned, or you're the first time actually getting commissioned, instead of it being extended to the 90 days, it has been back to the 45 days from what we originally have time to actually do our oath of commission. So basically, if you've already taken the class, you've sent the information to the Secretary of State when it comes to your application that is now certified. Then when you get the information back from the Secretary of State's office, you want to go ahead and schedule time to get sworn in. Here in Mecklenburg County, it can be 2 to 3 weeks before you can be seen. So that is definitely time you have to consider when it comes to what you have available within that 45-day time span. So do not wait to the last minute, because then you will have to go through the process all over again, and that would be money and time, and then you'll be frustrated. So again, plan accordingly. As soon as you receive that information, go on and call your registered deeds office to see about scheduling an appointment so you can get in within that 45-day time span. And realistically speaking, you should be able to get seen no matter what county you're in within that time frame. Again, that may change as well. If they actually do put in more information as far as extending the EVN, that'll probably go along with it. But as of right now, this is what we are facing, and you just want to make sure you are following that information. So this is information directly from the Secretary of State that I'm bringing to you today. For electronic notary classes, they are available at quite a lot of community colleges, and this may be in your area, so you just want to look to see which one is closest to you if you're looking to become an electronic notary. They have AB Tech, Alamance, Beaufort, Blue Ridge, Brunswick, Cape Fear, Catawba, Central Carolina, Central Piedmont, Coastal Carolina, Craven, Davidson County, Fayetteville, Forsyth Tech, Gaston, Guilford, Johnson Tech, Lenore, Mitchell, Pitt, Rockingham, Rowan Cabarrus, Sand Hills, Surrey, and Wait Tech. All of these are additional places that you can go and get your actual electronic notary. And you have to be in person for an electronic notary class. Even if you have to be recommissioned, it's always going to be in person as of right now. You want to call and try to get that scheduled as soon as possible as well, because dealing with COVID, we're dealing with the smaller class settings, or I should say the class sizes are the same, but they're having fewer people, so we can still practice social distancing with being safe, with being a good distance away as we're still learning. So you still have to wear your mask, and you want to make sure you do have like something to drink and practice all of those safety measures when you're in a class setting. The benefit of being an electronic notary, you can actually bring more opportunity for your business. So if this is something that you're wanting to expand upon on general notary work, this is a great opportunity. If you have a client that has a document and it's electronic, you will be able to meet with your client, use a laptop, and before you get there, you will have all of this set up. You will have to have your electronic seal, all of that with the provider that is approved by the Secretary of State. They have a few listed that is only approved, so you can't just go to any type of company and get that and be approved. So you want to make sure it is definitely state specific for North Carolina, and there's not an issue with that. The electronic notary is not the same as electronic or emergency video notary. They're two separate different types of notarization. So you really want to make sure you understand the emergency video notarization is only for the pandemic that ended at 12:01 today, which is Monday. And it may actually move forward, but we're still waiting for legislation to pass that for us to do that. But the electronic notary is something that is with your commission as a commission general notary, and the time of expiration is the same. It's just the fact that you're doing everything electronically and not manually in the traditional sense. And again, it can actually broaden your business if you choose to actually become an electronic notary also. There are some Q&A that I wanted to go over just in case you may have some questions that are the same, and I can answer the information here again from the Secretary of State. And one of them was, if I am notarizing a form using the Emergency Video Notarization Act, is it okay if a signer is in North Carolina resident, isn't a North Carolina resident, but is signing from a remote location out of the state? The answer is no. They must be in the state of North Carolina. They must tell you what county they're in. So when you go through the proper paperwork from your journal and the document that you are notarizing, everything is going to be showing that you're located in North Carolina yourself, and so is the principal that you're notarizing for. Again, when that comes back, it's going to be important for you to understand what the laws are that govern electronic video notarization, so you can be in compliance. Another question is, if asked, am I allowed to perform notarial acts in another state? That's no, and that was answered kind of in the first question. You have to be planted here in North Carolina, even if you are a notary for North Carolina and someone wants you to actually sign a document that's from North Carolina, but neither one of you are in the state of North Carolina. Legally, you cannot do it. The other question is, if you're not familiar with a particular legal document that you're asked to notarize, should you notarize it? And the answer is, which is a very good question, as a notary, it is not up to us to understand the contents of a document. We are responsible in performing the requested notarial act and verify the identity of the principal signer. So we go through the basics of exactly what our job is, and we apply it to whomever we are assisting. Now, in the event that it looks like it may be a fraudulent document, then yes, you use your gut instinct and you say, no, I don't feel comfortable with notarizing this document, and you move on. You don't have to explain anything else other than just letting them know that you don't feel comfortable doing it, and they have to find someone else to possibly do it. Signs of documents that be fraudulent: if they're the type of font, if it changes throughout the document, where it may look like something was whited out and something else was typed over it. When you're dealing with a legal document, there should be no errors of whiteout. So that is one thing that you need to remember as a notary. And there's other things that you may see that's suspicious, that once again, as a person who handles certain documents, you can really identify what really looks authentic and things that may be doctored. So please be very careful with that so that you can feel confident in executing what you need to do, whether you move forward with it or you just put a halt to it and do not do anything. Another question is, if or can you use a green card to verify identification? The answer is yes. Green cards are documents that show a person's permanent residence in the United States. As long as the document has both the signer's picture and signature, then it is authorized. So that's a good thing. It's similar to a state issued ID. It has a person's photo, and somewhere on that ID has their signature. And the last question is, do I have to have a college degree to become a notary in North Carolina? And the answer is no, you do not. But you do have to be at least 18 years old or at least legally emancipated as defined in Article 35 of Chapter 7B of the General Statutes. You also need to have a high school diploma or equivalent. And those things will be helpful when it comes to you wanting to become a notary, or if you know a young adult that is interested, you can let them know that it's optional for them. So I am Belinda Bennett again with North Carolina news you can use with NC Notary Service, and I look forward to actually bringing more information to you guys at a later date. Enjoy this Monday evening.